All right, I'm going to show you how to do your wire splices for Econ MT116 and for some of them for Econ MT117. First thing you're going to need are your tools. You're going to need your linemans, your needle nose, your wire strippers, and 14 gauge wire. When you see the 14 gauge wire, I'll provide you with the wire. Some of the wire is going to be in the recycling bin. You're going to pick it up, look at it, and make sure you can read where it says number 14. Okay? The other thing is you'll also be using number 14 solid. Solid means one piece of wire, and 14 stranded. Stranded means multiple strands of wire. Okay? When you cut your wire to clean them, you're going to use your wire stripper, and we're going to be using the number 14 gauge. When you look at this, you can check it out yourself, but you're going to see the size of conductors that you can cut it out, number 10, number 12, number 14. We're going to be using the number 14, and there is the distinction between solid and stranded depending on what you're cutting. One thing you want to do with this is you're going to apply a little pressure with what you're going to cut. You're going to pinch it a little bit. You're going to release some tension on it, and with your thumb, you're just going to push off and clean it. What some individuals have a habit of doing is when they put this on, this is number 14 solid, they put it on the 14 solid, they cut and they start doing this action, or they use the wrong size and they cut and they pinch too hard and they start nicking the wire. Nicking the wire means this. We'll zoom in on this for a second. You can see these little rings that they have over here. This is not good. Your wire can break off when you twist them or bend them, or they become brittle. So you want to make sure that when you do cut it, you go to the correct size. Once again, you just pinch down a little bit, release the pressure, and then push off with your thumb. It should have no nicks on it. All right, the next wire splice is going to be a 2-wire pigtail. We're going to grab some wire from the recycling bin or some new wire I'll provide for you. 14 gauge solid, and what we're going to do is cut it about 7 to 8 inches. Okay, we're going to clean it out. And mind you, this is for training purposes. When you're out in the field, you won't be cleaning it about 7 to 8 inches. You'll be cutting it much shorter, but this is just an introduction to show you how to make these splices. When you do these for the 2-wire pigtail, you want to make sure that the 2 pieces at the bottom where the insulation is matched up, okay? Then you're going to hold this down and you're going to turn it to the side like an L. If you want, you can give it a little pre-twist. You're going to grab your lineman pliers, and from the top you're going to start to twist down. Okay? As you twist, you can pull on these and twist. It's okay if at the top they over twist, but I'll show you what the final twist should look like once I'm done. Okay. You can straighten it out now, and then you can cut it back over here, maybe about a couple inches, and I want to be able to see them prior to moving on to the other splices, but this is what it's going to look like. What I don't want to see is over twisting. If you can zoom in, we can see these 2-wire pigtails. Notice how over here on the insulation you have copper over the plastic. On this splice we have over twisting. Okay, this is what your twist should look like when you're done for your 2-wire pigtail. All right, the next one's going to be a 3-wire pigtail. Same thing, you're going to clean these about 7 to 8 inches. And with these, what you're going to do is you're going to match them up at where you cleaned them, and you're going to pile them up, stack them up like this. Okay? What I don't want you to do is match them up flat, hold them flat, and then try to twist them like that. Okay? You're just going to stack them up. Put them together here. You can do a little pre-twist if you want. Then you're going to grab your linemans or side cutters, and you're gonna start twisting. Same thing, you can turn it in, have it face you. With each turn, you can pull back a little bit on it as you twist. Then you can straighten it out and cut about right here. And this is what your splice should look like. What I don't want to see is the following. I don't want to see, once again, that you're holding these wires flat like this with your needle nose, for example. I want them stacked up like this. What I don't want to see is pieces of the copper twisting around the insulation where they don't match up. Everything has to be evened out, and I don't want to see an under twist. If you have an under twist when you cut it to length that you need, they can fall apart. If you over twist on them, there's a chance for it to be brittle, and you can snap it off when you put a wire cap on top. So just watch out for those things, okay? This is what I'm looking for. All right, the next one we're gonna do is a 4-wire pigtail. You're gonna get 4 pieces of wire, same thing. You're gonna stack these up, make sure they're nice and even with the insulation down at the bottom, okay? You can do a little pre-twist if you choose to up here. Get your linements, start twisting. And you can pull on these a little bit towards you as you twist. Okay, you don't want to over twist. You can straighten it out and then cut it to about this length when you're done. Okay, there's no over twisting or under twisting right over here, and all these are matching up nice and even. All right, the next one is going to be your shepherd's hook. You're going to need your needle nose and your wire stripper for this one. This is a termination very commonly used on devices such as your switch and receptacles. What you're going to do is clean your wire about 3/4 of an inch. You're going to grab your needle nose, put it right on the tip of it, and you're just going to bend it as such and make a little hook. And that is your shepherd's hook. You can check to make sure if it's a good termination by applying it to the device. I'm going to slide it right under the screw. Notice how it fits nice and neat, and it comes down to the bottom right over here. You don't see any excess of copper exposed. What you don't want to do is make big hooks like this. So when you put them on your devices, you can see how they don't have a good connection on here. Same thing with the receptacles. You don't want to cut them too long. If you put it like this and you have too much copper exposed, when you insert it into a metal box, there's a chance for this making contact and you can have an arc. You also don't want to clean just a little bit when you put this on where it pinches down on the plastic insulation as well. You want to make sure you have a nice, good termination so it slides right under as such, and it fits perfectly right under the screw. All right, the next one we're going to do is a terminal eye. This is almost like the shepherd's hook, just slightly different. What we're going to do is clean the wire about 1 inch. You're going to need your needle nose and wire stripper for this one. Once you have it cleaned out, you're going to grab it just a little bit above here, okay, on the insulation. You're going to go above the insulation and you're going to make an L-shaped turn as such. So it should look like this. Then you're going to have this L face you, towards you. Next thing you're going to do is grab your needle nose and you're going to turn your needle nose in the direction like you were turning the handle on a motorcycle. You're going to do this turning action. So once you have this bend facing you, you're going to grab it at the tip with the tip of the needle nose, and you're going to turn it in that direction as such, and you're going to get a little hook just like this. This is called the terminal eye. These are used for when you have washers, for example. What you're going to do is you're going to put this in between the washers, slide it under, and this way the washers can go around the termination, and you can secure it as such. So this is what we're looking for, okay? Something like this. What I don't want to see is your turns to come out like this and there's no bare copper over here. I want to see a little piece over here. I don't want you to turn it and also have it like this where it's too big, okay? This is what we're shooting for, something like this. This is what I want. All right, the next one we're going to do is the T-tap. This is going to be when you're using two pieces of wire. Typically what you have is an existing conductor already installed somewhere. It could be free air or secured, and you may have to tap into this. What we're going to do is, for the training of this video, is you're just going to grab a piece and you're going to cut it, clean it about 6 inches or so. And so what you want to do is grab your wire stripper. You're going to clean it as such, push back a little bit on it, right over here, okay? And then you're going to grab another piece and you're going to straighten it out, and you're going to clean this one about 7 to 8 inches. It's okay if it's longer. You're going to grab this here and you're going to match them as such, like a T. Let me see if you can see what this looks like right over here. And you're going to start turning. You're going to make 3 turns. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Once you get 3, you can do 4 if you want to. You're going to straighten it out, and you're going to do 3 to 4 sharp turns, really close to each other. 1, 2, notice how they're getting really tight. 3 and 4. Anything excess, okay, you can get your side cutters. You can cut these here, twist it down, and this is what I'm looking for. This is your T-tap. If you want to zoom in so you can see how the spacing between these and then these are much closer. All right, the next one's going to be called the Western Union. This is when you need to bring 2 pieces of wire together and you're going to make a splice. For this class, I'd like for you to use 2 different colors. Doesn't matter which colors you use, just make sure it's the number 14 solid. And with these, same thing, you're going to clean these about 6 to 7 inches. If it's a little bit longer, that's fine. Okay. What you're going to do then is cross them as such, left over right, and you're going to start it the same way you did the T-tap. Okay. You're going to turn this one 1, 2, 3. If you want, you can do a 4th one. You're going to turn it up vertically, and you're going to do 3 to 4 sharp little turns. Okay, 1, 2, 3. If you want, you can do 1 more. And you're going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. 1, 2, 3. You're going to put it up and then do 3 to 4 sharp turns. Like that. Straighten this out. You're then going to grab your linements. You're going to cut the excess off. This little sharp piece here, you're going to twist it in. Do the same thing to the other side. Cut the excess off. Okay. Make sure it doesn't poke out. And then you're going to grab your needle nose very carefully. Pinch these together. Flip it around, do the same thing so you have a good connection. And then just straighten it out. And this is what it should look like. This is the Western Union. All right, this one's going to be your fixture splice. You're going to need your wire strippers and your needle nose. You'll be using a solid piece of 14 wire and a stranded piece of 14 wire. You'll take the solid piece, clean it a little bit over an inch. Same thing with the stranded wire. You can clean it just a little bit over an inch, and you're going to flare these out. Okay, make sure they're spread out flat. And this is when you're using typically installing fixtures. You'll have stranded wire, and then sometimes you'll have solid wire, so you have to know how to put them together. You're going to grab this one and put the stranded up on top to the side, and you're just going to turn it around, and you're going to go up as such. Okay, if you have anything extra, that's fine. You can cut it with your needle nose. You're going to grab the tip of it and you're going to turn it in. And then what I want you to do is just pinch these two together, and then you're going to have your fixture splice. All right, once you have all your splices done, we're going to put some splicing tape and electrical tape on them as well. So here I have the splicing tape. There are times when we can't cover these with a wire nut, so we have to re-insulate them and protect them. So we'll be using splicing tape and electrical 33 plus Scotch tape. Once you have your splices for these, you're going to cut these down to length, maybe about 3/4 of an inch or so. And the first thing I want you to show you is how to use the splicing tape. You're going to grab a piece, and this is going to stretch out. So when we put it up on top, this tip here might be sharp, so be careful on that. Put this here. You're going to pull a little bit, put it up on top, turn it to the side, and then you're going to start pulling on it and turning. Make sure you pull and get a good stretch on it. Pull, get a good stretch. Pull, get a good stretch. And then pull it off, and that'll be this splice. Let me show you the same thing on your Western Union and T-taps. The T-tap, for example, I want to make sure that you have a good connection on it with the splicing tape. You have to make sure you pull on this, and as you turn on it, you got to keep pulling. And you should be able to see underneath your splice that you made, okay? You just keep pulling on this and applying this here. You're going to go all the way to the end and pull. What I'm looking for, okay, notice how when I pulled on this, you could still see part of the splicing that you made underneath. What I don't want to see is when you use the splicing tape, is when you apply this on, you don't pull enough. So for example, if we do the Western Union, and it's the same thing with all of them, when you apply these, I don't want you to turn it and just put the splicing tape like this. This doesn't do much to it, okay? We're going to have to pull on this. Notice how it stretches, and turn it, okay? And keep going. Just look how that stretches out, okay? And then when you're done with it, you're going to pull it Obviously, you're going to go all the way to the end, but this is just showing you what I'm not looking for and what I'm looking for. So you're going to do one of each of your splice. You're going to put the splicing tape. So here I have the Western Union, the T-tap, the 2-wire pigtail, 3-wire pigtail, 4-wire pigtail, and fixture splice. You're going to put the splicing tape on all 5 of your splices. The other thing you're going to do is once you do a set with the splicing tape, you're going to do the splicing tape again, and then you're going to apply the electrical tape on top of that. So for example, this one that's done, what you're going to do next, on your second set that you do, you're going to grab your electrical tape, okay? And let's start with the 2-wire pigtail first. Remember how we put this on for the 2-wire pigtail? Same thing. What I want you to do is start here, go to the top, turn it, and then turn this way. And the same thing, you're going to pull, except this one is not going to stretch as much as the splicing tape, but you still pull on it and make a good connection on it. Right over here, pull it, and you're done with this one. This is the 2-wire. When you do the T-tap to the T-handle, you're going to do the same thing. Okay, put the electrical tape, stretch it out, go around it, stretch it out, pull on it, go around, stretch, go around, stretch. Okay, you're going to do the same thing all the way until the end, until it looks like this. So this has the splicing tape underneath, and then it's got the electrical tape. What I don't want to see when you put it on this is you don't stretch it out, and for example, you just turn the tape and you just put the tape loose like this. Okay, this is what I don't want to see you do. I want to make sure that you pull on it, okay, put it around, pull on it, put it around, get nice connections on it, okay? And you're going to do 5 sets of those as well.